Right, so today's video then, it is going to be an update on this front lawn renovation. I think it's been a few weeks now since I posted the last update, and it's safe to say we are now 2 months on from seeding the lawn, and it's looking absolutely boss. Now, it's not been cut in 3 days. You can still see the remnants of the old stripes, and if you just get in close to the sward, as I always say, the test of a quality lawn is getting in right over the top. And you can just see how lovely and dense it is no matter where we go across this space. Now, it looks okay, but it's not without its issues. You might be able to tell that when I just panned over then. On this side, we've got a few little spaces in the lawn, and we have this problem area over on this side. So if getting right over the top, you can see that we had a little bit of weed grass knocking about, which have pulled in the lawn, slowly sort of filling itself back in. And over here, I think we got a little bit of disease, and part of the problem is when we first seeded this lawn, the wind was whipping up from the field down at the bottom, and what that's meant is that I think some of the seed we put down has blown towards this side, making it slightly too dense, and that's where something like verticutting would come in handy, because it alleviates the stress from the sheer density of the grass type. However, everywhere else, it's looking absolutely boss. So before we waffle anymore, let's get the mower, let's give this a cut. Now, I always think that lawns are best early in the morning and later on in the evening. At the time of recording now, it's around 6:30 in the evening, and it's safe to say that the stripes are absolutely popping. The one thing I was almost worried about when I went with Bentfescue was, would the stripes look as good with this as what they used to with ryegrass? And I'm not being funny, I think these look a million times better, and I don't really think you can argue with the colour either. It is a lighter shade of green compared to ryegrass, but because the lighter stripes are so light and you get a really nice depth of shadow between all these grass blades and the darker stripes, it just means that you get a really defined pattern on your lawn, which kind of takes away from the fact that the shade of green is slightly lighter. And unless you've got two different types of lawn side by side, you're never going to know. And what's boss is that it's only had one liquid feed. It's had, I think, 3 granular feeds since. Yeah, because I had one when we first took the sheet off. I had another one when we gave it its first cut. It's had another one not too long ago. But it just shows that you don't really need to do a lot to get a boss lawn. Now, I am feeding it more now than I probably will this time next year, because it is quite young and it needs a little bit of sort of force feeding to get it up to scratch. Let's just get in over the top. Let's just have a look at the quality of the sward. Look at that. Can you really argue with that? Now, like I said at the start of this video, we did have a bit of a problem with power annua the other, say last week I think it was, or about 5 days ago or something. We had the same sort of thing in the back garden. It's just that time of year now where we've had a little bit of moisture from the rain, the temperatures are right, so those seeds are germinating, and I've got a power annua plant growing in a grid outside the garden fence. So if it can grow there, it can literally grow anywhere. And the reason why I got so many sort of on this side in this lawn is because those power seeds are already in your soil, and when you scarify, when you renovate, you can't disturb that soil. You open up your sward and it gives them a chance. So when we did the renovation on this, I put the Bentfescue seeds down, but those power seeds took that chance as well to fill in those spaces. And although it's nice and dense now, it wasn't this dense obviously a month or so ago, 6 weeks ago, which has then given the plants those chances to kind of take hold. Now, I have cut this evening without the grass collector on the back of the lawnmower, and the reason being is because I want to mulch the clippings. When you mulch them, you're taking the water that leaf blade contains and you're recycling it back into the soil, back into the plants. you're taking the good bacteria, the good nutrients, and doing the exact same thing again. If you've got power heads knocking about, then you're going to either want to pick them up before you start or just use your grass collector. However, I was out here a few nights ago picking out the odd few, like I said, about 5 days or so ago. So most of them are gone for the most part. There might be the odd one knocking about. No one's going to die if we leave the odd one here or there. If you're in a position where you've got ryegrass and it's failed and you're considering changing to Bentfescue, then do it. The worst thing that can happen is you just go back to ryegrass, but honestly, try it. The density of this is like nothing you'll have seen before. The quality of it is exactly the same as well, and I like to call this a lazy man's lawn because it doesn't require a lot of work. I'm coming out maybe every 3 days now giving the lawn a cut, and for most people that is a bit excessive, but for lawn enthusiasts that's all I'm doing. Yeah, we have this dodgy patch on the far side over there which we obviously need to sort out, and it needs edged. It looks horrendous. This edge bit looks a little bit horrendous too. This is the Novice Gardener channel. We get lazy sometimes, but that is on the to-do list, and so we are going to box that off. Let's just enjoy for the moment the stripes and how good this lawn is looking. I do get lots of nice feedback on this channel, and I do appreciate people who take the time to do so. However, I do get some criticism at times too as well, and I guess that's just the nature of posting videos online, and there are some people who are waiting for this lawn to fail. There's no agenda here. I'm not making a single penny off this seed or the feed I put down. I've just found something that works, and I'm just continuing to use that process because the results just speak for themselves. And that's not a dig towards anybody else, because there's some amazing creators on this platform, and if you can make ryegrass succeed, then go for it. It certainly succeeded at the front lawn where I'm stood now, but it's nice to see another grass species thriving in this space too. So if you have enjoyed today's video, or just like sort of seeing the update and seeing how it's looking so far, maybe you've done a renovation and you're at a similar point to me, and it's nice to kind of compare how mine looks to how yours looks, then, you know, consider giving the video a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to follow along with any more garden videos, lawn care videos like this, we are keeping lawn care simple. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. There's not too many products to put down. We're going to keep it as cheap as we can possibly make it. Yeah, I've used an expensive lawnmower. You don't need to. You can use a £100 web push mower to get the exact same results as what I've got here now. The TikTok is Novice Gardener Official. The Instagram is Novice Gardener YT. And yeah, finally, thanks for watching. Oh, and the next video I'll probably post to do with this lawn is kind of the maintenance and the upkeep that I'm going to be doing to it over the next few months during the rest of the summer, keeping things as simple as I can.